we have a video from ZeplaHQ on the good and bad of Crystalline conflict. For a little background, I have done the new PvP. I've done the new PvP content in Final Fantasy XIV. I've not done a whole lot of it. I did 3 casual matches so far. But I had fun. It was definitely fun for me. No. Yeah. Would do again. But, you watch Savix play it? Yeah, I mean, a lot of big streamers have been playing it and really rising, doing the ranks and stuff. It's really fun. It's very quick and very fun, and I think it's cool. I think it's pretty well done. I think a lot of people are enjoying it, and so am I. I would like to do more of it. I just haven't had the time to do so. All right, so Zepla's gonna talk about it. So let's hear what she has to say. Let me pause the music.
So today I just want to talk about the new PvP mode in Final Fantasy XIV, Crystalline Conflict, that was added in patch 6.1, completely overhauling and revamping how PvP works. In Final Fantasy XIV, in the past, PvP was not that popular of a game mode. It was kind of lackluster, but now it seems that everything has changed, and everyone I know, including myself, is heavily addicted to Crystalline Conflict.
Yeah, it can be addictive because it's so fast. Like it's such a fast experience. Just to kind of talk really quickly about PvP for me. I did try PvP before it was revamped. I did a fair bit of it back in the day, maybe 2 years ago, and it was alright. But the thing that really kind of made me not want to do PvP is that the kits were so big. There were too many buttons, and all the buttons were very similar to the PvE kits, so the PvP kits were just very similar, and well, the PvP kits were different from the PvEs, and that confused me, and my brain was I was too tired of doing the mental gymnastics to separate my PvE loadout from my PvP loadout, so I could barely remember what everything did in PvP, and that annoyed me. So I just stopped. But now the kits are much smaller. We still have some moves from the PvE kit, but there's so many fewer abilities now that I can actually enjoy it and not be just focusing so much on the abilities, but I can focus on the actual game, which is a lot of fun. And probably how others may feel about it too.
Like, if you've been watching the streams in the past week, you've seen me super tired because I have been staying up really late doing just one more match. just one more. I did finally get to Diamond last night, so it's been a long road, and I feel like I have some feedback. I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly stuff I've noticed so far, just general impressions of the mode and what I think could definitely be improved. So the good things: it is really fun to play. It is so much fun. I've been having a blast when I'm not actually molding. And everybody else seems to like it too. I actually was watching a Bellular video the other day about Dragonflight, and in the middle of it, he starts talking about how great Crystalline Conflict is.
Honestly, Crystalline Conflict, like the way that it changes, I'm just gonna have to talk about Crystalline Conflict for really much today, because the new PvP mode in FF14 is one of those fun things I played in like maybe years.
It's incredible.
It's fucking incredible. It's insane.
It's so good. It's a thing where it's not going to replace, because obviously, you know, a lot of people moving to FF from WoW because WoW's not doing so hot at the minute. A lot of their complaints are like, well, this doesn't feel quite as open and like nice because there's no PvP, or you know, there's no WoW PvP. It's not like a replacement for WoW PvP in any sense, but it is just a really super compelling small scale PvP mode. And excellent.
He pointed out the fact that everything you love about your job's identity is condensed really well into the PvP version of your job now, and it just feels fantastic.
It does.
One fun thing about it is that it's objective.
I play Warrior, by the way.
It's not like in Feast where
I can't get away from it.
Everybody was kind of just flailing around, and the goal was to kill as many people as possible. though some people certainly do play this mode that way, forgetting that it is indeed objective based. Another good thing is that it's fast paced. The matches are really short and sweet, just 5 minutes, not counting overtime. So it feels rewarding. It doesn't feel like if you got a terrible team or a bad comp, like you didn't just waste 40 minutes in a fail, right? It's just 5 minutes or a little over that, and then you just move on to the next match. So I think it feels just right for the size of the maps as well. Each map has special mechanics and variety, and I really like that a lot too. I like how they're cycled through. I think it's every hour and 30 minutes, and you can see which map is active at a given time. So it's good to have more than one map. In Feast, we actually only had one map. The reward system is significantly better. It rewards everyone, not just the top 100, with cool stuff. Like there's an armor set you can get, there's a lot of currency, there's frames for your portrait, wolf marks, trophy crystals, and we also have Garo on top of that right now, but that's just temporary, so it's not really, that's like a side note. But the new reward system is significantly better, and it's definitely the step in the right direction.
Agreed.
I have more feedback on that, but I'll talk about that in the bad section. It's single queue only. Now, I would love them to add a team mode later on as a separate mode, but if people could queue as a team into ranked now, it would lead to many very uninteresting one-sided matches.
Yes.
I mean, this is an Overwatch.
100%.
Final Fantasy 14 is not a PvP game. So by maintaining the solo queue, I think it keeps the matches interesting. Also,
I would agree with that.
no chat. Now,
That's been a standard.
first,
That's not new. We've always not had proper
this
chat.
is terrible. We're not going to be able to coordinate. We're not going to be able to communicate. Quick chat is not enough for us to chat with each other. But after playing for a while, I am increasingly grateful for the fact that other people are not able to just type whenever they want to in the chat, because people actually still find plenty of ways to be toxic with the quick chat buttons. Nice job and good match anytime something goes wrong. So I'm just glad that is all they can say. In general, I am super happy with this game mode, and it has been really well received by the community, so I'm looking forward to the updates that it will get. But with those updates in mind, I hope that there are some problems that they can address, which leads us to the bad stuff I've noticed in the Crystalline conflict. So the first thing that's really, really, really bad are the mods that help people cheat. There is a growing problem right now with people using plugins to cheat in the game, and it sucks. There is stuff like auto CC assist, so a white mage using this plugin could automatically imp somebody that just used their LB. There's auto heals. There is auto LB that will check to see if somebody is killable and then instantly switch to them and LB them. And there's triggers that will go off if the samurai use their LB, for example, so you can avoid them. Basically, these are all really unfair gameplay advantages, and I wish that Square
I didn't know it was that bad.
on it,
I actually didn't know it was that bad. Holy shit.
It will get out of hand if they continue to look the other way. Now, I'm talking only about plugins that give a real gameplay advantage that is unfair to other people, like straight up cheating. Like, I'm not a person that's completely against add-on support. And I know that there are plenty of plugins that are completely harmless and fine. Like there's plenty that are for making cute screenshots or just only affect your game locally, or they'll do something like give people little chat bubbles over their head when they talk. And I don't think it's fair to lump all of that in one pile. And in general, it seems like they agree too. That's why they have been really lenient about this stuff. But I worry that the whole community that is involved in creating those mods, like everybody will suffer because of the serious cheating and hacking going on. And the whole community might feel the consequences of that when Square sees that the problem has gotten out of control and they finally decide to do whatever they're going to do. So I don't know. I know Yoshi P doesn't want to add Epic Easy anti-cheat to the game.
They don't want to do that. They don't want you to install anything that's not Final Fantasy 14 on your system.
Thread on the official forums of people calling for it.
They don't want
discussing why that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I don't care how he decides is the best way to solve the problem, but they need to deal with it. They need to address it because this was a problem in the past with PvP. And they didn't really do much, and this will absolutely ruin this fantastic game mode if they let it. Now, related to this is
so like the thing about it is that when if there are mods that exist in the game that people can use locally, will find a way to abuse the system. People will always find a way to abuse the system. You know, I'm a firm believer in honor and fair play, but when there are ways to game the system, to gain an advantage, people are going to make use of it. And then what's going to happen is, you know, people like Red, who can't get out of Silver because of people using cheats, is essentially the idea of those people being so frustrated that they start to use the add-ons, because it's like what else am I going to do? You know, if this is how the game is going to be, then I guess I have no choice. And that really could lead to some detrimental effects with the enjoyment of the game. I actually didn't know it was this bad. The only thing they can do about it is remove White Mage Polymorph, allow it to be cleansed, because right now you can't dispel it. Yeah, I actually did hear about that, Red. I recently watched Mr. Happy's tier list for PvP, and I learned a very kind of quick and dry rundown of pretty much every job in PvP and what they can do in PvP. And yeah, he was not happy about Polymorph. He was not happy about Polymorph at all. And for good reason. It's basically an ability that you can use to stop any ongoing ability. You can basically use it to stop someone else's, to just basically stop a limit break. It's very, very powerful, and it can't be dispelled. So white mages are essentially in a tier of their own because of this in PvP, which, you know, you can imagine how that's going to be kind of a mess. So, you know, we really just have to see how much the dev team really cares about PvP, how much resources they're actually allocating to improve PvP now that they've seen like a huge influx of players playing PvP, and we really just have to see what they want to do, because like they don't want to request people to install other software that's not Final Fantasy XIV, because what that will imply for a lot of people is that they're somehow like they'll think that maybe the dev team or Square Enix as a whole is monitoring their computer. And you know, Yoshi P is very much against that. Like he's a seasoned MMO player. He's gone through all the ups and downs, all the dark times and the good times in MMOs. So he doesn't want to do that, because he definitely just does not want to like cause people to feel a negative way towards Final Fantasy XIV as a whole, for sure. Alrighty, WR, good luck on your assignment, and yeah, thank you for dropping by. Like, even I know you're still busy, but thank you for dropping by, and hopefully I'll see you maybe tomorrow for another stream or sometime soon. And again, congrats on your graduation. But yeah, they really need to do something about this, because people are just going to go ahead and copy what everyone else is doing, and that's going to dilute the authenticity and the fun that this mode actually is. It's really a shame that people do this sort of thing. Like it's so frustrating, and it's so infuriating that people would actively seek to ruin a good thing. Like it doesn't occur to these people that like they can use their skills from so many other things, but they would much rather gain an advantage, cheat essentially, just to basically ruin everyone else's enjoyment. Like it's hard for me to even understand why someone would actively do that. Like I don't care if they love Final Fantasy XIV. Like that's a very, very poor, despicable way of showing that you love Final Fantasy XIV, by creating add-ons in which people can just cheat and gain an advantage above other players who are just trying to enjoy the game and like trying to maybe dip in their feet in PvP for the first time. It's just it's so disappointing. It's incredibly disappointing. Like yeah.
Win trading. Now, this was a problem in Feast as well, but you might be asking yourself, well, how the hell do people win trade in a game where you cannot queue up with a group? Well, if you queue at the exact same time as other people, there's a decent chance that you could end up in the same game, especially if you do so in off-peak hours. So that is how people are managing to do it, and they're also abusing the fact that you cannot derank from a rank. So for example, you'll have one person or several people who are at Diamond 5 and they have nothing to lose. They cannot de-rank from there. So they will try to queue at the same time as their friend. They'll stand around doing nothing and basically throw the match for the opposite team, and the other person will rank up, reach some milestone, and then do the same thing in return. So obviously this is always going to happen, I imagine, in any
game in the system.
game, but the goal should be to minimize this happening as much as possible. Now, I personally think it is great that you don't de-rank once you have reached a certain rank, because my god, it is such a relief once you finally get to that rank and you feel like you've reached a checkpoint, and it feels
you've seen it happen, right?
But I also feel like, in light of some of the abuse that's happened, and in general fairness, if you lose like 5 games in a row consecutively and you're already at the bottom of your rank, maybe a D rank would be justified in that case. And if you rank up again, like have that 5 or 10 loss counter reset. I hate to suggest that, even because I know how much of a relief it is to get to that next rank checkpoint. But I mean, if you're losing 5 or 10 times in a row, you probably don't belong in the rank that you're playing at. On the subject of the ranking
so that happened to you
whole,
at the time
that
she
get a win streak,
that she said on off peak
move up
hours.
faster because of that. Like, so many nights I stayed up later than I should have because I was on a win streak, and I was like, well, I can't go to bed yet. I've just won so many in a row and I'm getting extra stars, I can't sleep. So that's been fun. But I also feel it can get a bit wonky at the higher ranks, because it means that it is possible to climb all the way to Crystal with a negative win rate because you got lucky with some streaks. So that feels a bit off. I feel like at Diamond and above it should be disabled. But keep it at the lower ranks, so that way if you are low rank and you belong in a higher rank, then you'll still rank up quickly, which is good for the people in lower tiers as well, because if you're really high skilled and you're in a low tier, you can make the match kind of unfun for the other people in that tier. And it would make Diamond and above more competitive, more of an achievement, because it's not you just getting lucky with win streaks. As for rewards, so I mentioned earlier that the reward system is massively improved and I'm really happy with it. It's plentiful and attainable just by grinding, so that's all well and good, but I do feel like the progression was way too quick. The series is supposed to last until the next major content patch, but you can farm all the rewards in just a few days or a week and be done with PvP until the next batch of rewards comes out.
You know, this makes sense to me. I truly do believe that that the dev team that's working on this part of the game, they played it very, very safe. I think it's important to keep that in mind, that they're basically trying to revamp what was essentially one of the least forms of content played by the entire community. PvP was essentially dead in many ways. So I don't blame them for really being very cautious with how they went about this. For people to be able to progress through the series levels very quickly, I think that was by design. And I think they just generally want to make it satisfying. They wanted to make the progression feel like you're getting somewhere. And I think they were trying to do as much as they could to make it so that players will want to keep playing. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for taking it slow. I think that makes a lot of sense. And doing this in the first place was a huge risk. I think it's just important to keep in mind that that the dev teams definitely just wanted to ensure that people were willing to play this, because they didn't know how this is going to be received. They didn't know how people were going to enjoy this. They didn't know how popular it would end up being. And now that they've seen how popular it has become, I mean, at least for the time being, it's only been out for like 2 or 3 weeks now. They can now look into making improvements and maybe making the series progression a little bit longer, so it's you get better stuff, but it's just a little bit longer progression. And they can do little things to keep people engaged with the content, but I think it makes perfect sense that they made the progression very, very quick,
which is not great. Like, I'm really worried we're going to see a drastic decay in PvP activity after a few weeks of active participation. once people got what they wanted, basically. And obviously you would hope that they would continue to play because it's a lot of fun, and it is. But I do think bigger goals to strive for would be more healthy for the game mode and retention of players. The rewards for reaching certain tiers and ranks are a bit lackluster. First of all, I didn't even know what the rewards were from just playing the game. I had to look it up on the website to make this video.
I had no idea either.
So I
I actually had no idea
either. Don't even
either.
realize that there are rewards you'll be given at the end of the season if you do achieve a rank. But with that said, I do think they're kind of lackluster. I mean, the Framers kit is really cool, but I think something more tangible in game, like a mount or even a glam, would have been nice. The trophy crystals is really worthless as a reward because do you realize just the sheer number of crystals that you obtain from reaching crystal tier or even diamond or platinum tier? Like, you are drowning in crystals. Like, I've had so many crystals, I don't even know what to do with all these crystals. So at that point, you do not
19,000.
care about getting more crystals. I promise you. Like, I bought everything there is to buy. I don't even know what to spend it on now, and that's a huge problem as well. Like, should be some prestigious loot. There should be maybe an absurdly costly trophy sync mount or something else you can buy with these extra trophy crystals, like maybe MGP tokens. Like, they need some new ideas. Like, I thought maybe special unlockable dyes would be really cool, or like different effects. Like, right now we have metallic dyes, but we don't have any other type of effects on dyes. I think that would be neat to add some kind of different colors or effects to dyes. I'm just trying to, like, I think they need to think of what are some different things we can offer players to buy with all of their extra currency, because I'm capped on wolf marks, I'm capped on trophy crystals. There's just too little to buy. The AF sets that they added to the PvP vendor for trophy crystals are literally just recolors of existing AF gear, which would be cool if there was also brand new PvP gear sets for Endwalker like we've gotten in every other expansion. I've heard a lot of complaints about matchmaking, but they're mostly like, oh, well, they got a warrior and our team didn't, or they got a white mage and our team didn't, so they're gonna win and we're not because they got the strong picks. And I mean, there's a difference between a strong pick or a meta pick and jobs that are just absolutely and completely busted. There are some jobs in PvP right now that are straight up busted and pretty much mandatory, and there are other jobs that are almost unplayable because they're just not competing at all. Warrior has 2 CCs on like 15-second cooldowns. Warrior is like running around more like a DPS than a tank, it's just out of control. And
yeah,
White
Warriors
Mage
just do what they want. I know.
Because of a bug. There's a bug that allows you to interrupt your cast to get you back an extra charge of Cure 2. And so you just run around with infinite Cure 2. And on top of everything else about White Mage that is totally busted. And I say this as a White Mage player. I've been playing White Mage in PvP. But
also for the record, I didn't pick Warriors because it's
really overpowered
OP.
right now. And
I didn't pick it. I
you
picked
have
it
your
because
LB,
I liked
which is
it.
It does everything. Like, it's a stun, it's a heal, it does a lot of damage, and it's on a 60-second recharge. A lot of people were saying, like, I personally think it might be more fair if they fix the bug with Cure 2 and maybe put the LB recharge on a little bit longer timer than just 60 seconds. Honestly, I feel like this probably deserves its own video where I talk about every single job and like the strengths and weaknesses of them. But a lot of people are complaining about the Samurai LB. I personally think that it's
pretty strong.
Fine unless you have some AoE abilities that are hitting the Samurai unintentionally. I think that really sucks because you can see when other people on the other team have their LB almost ready, so you know when the Samurai almost has his LB, you can prepare for it. It's usually super obvious when he's getting ready to do it, but if you happen to have some AoE abilities that unintentionally hit the Samurai, I think that sucks. That you could be punished for that. That doesn't seem fair. Gunbreaker, on the other hand, feels almost unplayable. Other jobs like Dancer or even Reaper feel a bit wonky right now. They just need a little bit of work. So regarding balance, I think that you can't expect in a PvP setting for everything to be equal, right? But I think what you want to go for is a rock, paper, scissors type of situation where some jobs have strengths that other jobs can exploit. I think that's not far off with some minor tweaking. Still, a skilled dancer will blast a bad samurai out of the water. So it's not broken beyond recognition. Though, again, I say that as a PvP white mage, so I might be seeing it with blood lily colored glasses. The question is, will PvP be getting balance updates at the same rate as PvE content? Can we expect PvP updates and tuning to happen with every major content patch? That we do not know. I do hope that we do have better communication between the PvP community and the devs. In the past, they were not so good at that, unlike in other aspects of the game. So I hope we see a change in this expansion. In general, I really want to see new content, new updates, new quality of life, new rewards, new communication. Like, this needs to be a regular feature on every live letter. What's happening next with PvP should be considered just as important as PvE. Now that everybody
100%.
likes it, we have a successful base model and it has a lot of potential. It's been well received. I'm happy to play it, but I do not want to see it abandoned. I do not want to see just one content update and then we forget about it for the rest of the expansion. But I don't think we will, because we got series, we got seasons. They seem to have planned ahead for this, but time will tell. How have your Crystalline Conflict matches been going? Have you been doing ranked? Have you been doing just casual matches? Please let me know in the comment section down below which job is your favorite and which job is your least favorite, which jobs that you think really need the nerf bat and which ones you think could use some help. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free just by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow warriors of light. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, so that was Miss Zepla's video. Yeah, that was a good video. I think she touched on, you know, a good bevy of good things and bad things about PvP. Again, I haven't done enough of it to really be in a situation where I'm, you know, very, very like well versed in that. But I do think that it's very, very important to really keep our fingers crossed that, you know, the dev team is really going to give PvP the attention that it deserves. Listen to the content creators like Zepla on the feedback that they're giving, and try to see if we can have a very balanced experience that can be hopefully on par as we do with PvE content. You know, let's just keep playing it. Let's keep having fun with it, making the most of it. I'm eventually going to try ranked. I will be, and we'll see how far I can get. Probably not very far, but we'll see.